Hey guys, it's that time again. It's the end of the month, and it's that show where I show you all the crazy stuff I got in the mail. I got my aquarium box. I got some cool fish stuff. I got a little bit of photography stuff too. That's all coming up right after this. Hey YouTube, this is Pack Tech, and it's that time again. If you're new to the show, about once a month this year, we're towards the end of the month, I've been doing a sort of a mail order video. And it's sort of a mix of different things I get in the mail. I've got my subscription box. I've got a couple of other little things. Normally some cool aquarium stuff, new stuff that I've found that I think is fun to buy at all different kinds of price levels. Sometimes it's a preview so you can kind of get an idea of what a future project's going to be on the channel. But it's sort of a different and fun way to share some information with you guys about a bunch of different things. Most of the stuff I buy for these shows comes from my YouTube AdSense money. I try to take whatever money I make off YouTube and I roll it right back into the show, which just means more aquarium stuff, better photography gear, and that sort of thing. I also get a little bit of money from the Amazon Associates program, and of course that goes back into the show as well. It's also why a lot of my products seem to come from Amazon. If you're ever curious about something you see in the show, in the description of just about every video, there's a link where you can go to my store, which is basically just a kind of a shopping list of different things I've used on all my videos. And shopping, or even just viewing that list and getting something else, helps the show, just so you know. So now that you guys know basically where this stuff came from, let's go ahead and get started. Now every month I open the My Aquarium box. My Aquarium box is a monthly subscription box. It's sort of a mystery box full of aquarium goodies. And something really cool that they've done for this show is they've invited me to come and be a part of the aquatic experience. That's right. If you're planning on going to the aquatic experience, I'll be there in the My Aquarium box booth. I guess that makes me a booth babe. The guys that run this company are good friends of mine, and I really enjoy their company, so I can't wait to go spend some time with them. Okay, and as my regulars know, I try to open the box with some new thing every month. And this month I've chosen this pin. It's an alien head pin. I got it at Gen Con. Speaking of Gen Con, on Pack Tech Games, I'll be doing a video about the do's and don'ts, some good first-time tips for Gen Con if you've ever been. It's the largest gaming convention in the world. Let's see how this does. You know, I think the rock I used last week actually works better than this pen. Let's see. All right, and it is open. Let's take a look inside. Oh, yeah, right here on top, I've got a CD. The guy that packs every box, Mike, likes to slip some kind of mystery kind of thing. It looks like I've got a CD of Crooklyn. He likes to send me his music. Is that what's in there? Yeah, Crooklyn, a Spike Lee joint. And a note. Hi, Sean. Thank you, Mike. Don't look for this in your My Aquarium box. You won't find it. That's just for me. And usually I do a scorecard, but it doesn't look like there is a scorecard. I guess I'm winging it this month. Okay, let's open it. Let's see what's on top here. We have dehydrated spirulina chips. Very nice. Your veggie lovers will like this stuff. Ooh. Okay, and we've got some Sarah Vipa chips. And these are some tropical wafers that are for bottom dwellers this time. Really cool. Ooh, it looks like we've got a couple of sponges. These are to put on your fingers, and then you clean the aquarium with it. Kind of like a Freddy Krueger, but like a cleaning Freddy Krueger for aquariums. That's not what these are for. These, of course, what you do want to do with these is put them over your intakes. These are really super handy if you've got shrimp, because shrimp love to swim straight up that intake. They don't have a brand or anything on them. They look a lot like the fluval ones. I actually use these all the time. If you've got a fluval speck, you can also take this and put it over the output on it and really slow down the flow. A lot of people complain about the flow of the speck, especially for bettas and stuff like that. Yeah, we got 3 of these little sponges. What else we have here? Oh, we've got a bottle of Flourish Trace. It's by Seachem. And this is something that can add trace elements into your planted tank. It looks like we've got some twisty ties, and these are rubber coated twisty ties, which will really help do some cable management. If you want to get your cords and wrap them together, or do something. This will not rust, of course, because they're coated in plastic. Very neat. And it looks like we've got some driftwood. And this looks to be, I'm thinking this is Malaysian driftwood. Malaysian driftwood is really fun because it sinks right away. It is best to still boil it, because boiling it will get some of the tannins and stuff out, so it's not completely tea-colored inside of your aquarium. But a really cool piece of driftwood here, and there's another one in here. I think this is the same thing. Yeah, it's another really cool piece of driftwood. And that is the August My Aquarium box planted. Very cool. Thanks for the CD, Mike. I'll throw it in as soon as I get back to my car. Okay, so in these next two items, I actually got I got this bigger one at my local fish store, and then I went and I found another one on Amazon that was even smaller. And what they are small plastic maintenance holders. I'm going to do the bigger one here. And what they do is they screw onto the side of your tank. This would probably be for like a rimless tank. And you could take your aquascaping supplies and store them inside here. And I actually have a couple to show you. So you can just take your aquascaping supplies, slide them right onto here. So you can attach that right to the side of your tank. I don't know. I've been keeping all my aquascaping supplies inside of in this little cup. In this little cup in my office upstairs. And I actually have a lot of these. When I went looking for this thing, what's funny is I noticed that there were a couple of different ones. I don't need any more tools, so I didn't get any more tools, but I actually found another set of tools that comes with a really cool metal version of this holder. And I'll put that in the link as well, even though I didn't pick it up this round. But I thought this was pretty neat. I've got some tanks that kind of sit off to their, away from the other aquariums and stuff like that. And I would like to start a tank at work. And I think that this would be just a real handy way to keep a couple of little quick tools, especially this small one, this little tiny one here. Just to keep a couple of little tools around. So you could just kind of easily keep something on hand. Keep just a nice clean way to keep a couple of tools handy for your maintenance. Isn't that neat? It's kind of a nothing little part, but I thought it was neat enough I wanted to show you guys. Just something kind of cool to organize your aquascaping tools on the side of your tank. You might be able to work this around a lid if you got a rim tank too. I'm not too sure. The ones I've seen them on have been rimless, but who knows. So that's the maintenance holder by Up Aqua. So another interesting product that I've found, I've been curious about dosing, and I've been looking at dosing pumps. Now, if you guys do saltwater, you're probably really familiar with it. There's not as much purpose for that in freshwater unless you do planted tanks, and I of course do that. So if you do planted tanks, you can take dosing pumps, and there are all sorts of different solutions for that. And you put them on a timer. Some have built-in timers. This is sort of the really economic way to go. And all this does is it sucks liquid in and then pushes it out. So you can take this and use it for a bunch of different things. If you're doing a little, like a small waterfall feature, maybe you're going to do one of those things where you've got a rock coming up out of the aquarium with plants growing on the, kind of like a paladerium or something on the outside, and you want to get some water from the tank up to here so it can trickle down. This would be a good thing for it. A lot of people use these on the spillover boxes. If you don't have a drilled tank but you're still using a sump or something like that, you can use this to kind of push the water over. They're not very expensive. This is definitely the economic way to go. If I did do a dosing pump system, what I would do is I would hook this up to a timer. I would have to measure and see how long it takes how much liquid it gets for a certain period of time, and I could have it come on once a day for like a minute or so and pump in some fluids. So if I wanted to do a daily dose of some sort of fertilizer or something for the aquarium, I could utilize this. There are much more sophisticated ways, and I'm thinking about getting one of those, but I wasn't really sure. And I knew I could use this for a bunch of different things, so I got this for now. Here's a look inside of it. Really not much to see. It's got a couple little ports in there. But yeah, it'll suck in liquids and then spit them out the other side, so you can have this small little pump. And it's got a little thing to hang. It's got some rubberized feet so it doesn't maybe make too much noise. Really neat little device. You can use this in terrariums and stuff like that too. It's got a lot of different applications. But that's the Aqua Lifter by Tom's Aquarium Products, or Tom Aquarium Products. And look for this in a future project. And now it's time for the book club section of the video. Now, one thing I never talk about in these things are books. And maybe books are old school. When I started keeping aquariums 10 or 15 years ago, I read a lot of books. That's how I gained the initial knowledge that I got. People talking on the internet about fish and stuff was kind of a new thing. There are a few OG guys, like maybe Dustin. I think he was one of the first people that I came across and watched regularly. But mostly I read a lot of books. And if you're going to get some aquarium books, I've got two of what I consider pretty essential books. And they're completely different. We're going to start with the pretty one. Now this first book is Takashi Amano's book. And he was a huge inspiration. He was by far the biggest inspiration. When I got into planting tanks and I saw those aquariums that he put together, I was like, I want to do that. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I want to do tanks like that. And I'll probably never be able to do them. They're just incredible. They're beautiful. And they would cost a fortune to put some of those things together. But the scale and the beauty of those things are great. He has this book, which is mostly nano tanks. This is all smaller aquariums. And it's a picture book with a lot, let's see if I can find some cool stuff. Yeah. A lot of great photos. It's got good information and stuff too, but even if you're just like, I want to look at pictures, even if you're just that guy, this book is absolutely full of inspiration. There are so many things in here to see. Really lovely, very well put together. Mr. Amano was not only a talented aquarist, he was also a very talented photographer. And photographing your aquarium is a very underrated skill. He makes his stuff look absolutely gorgeous. Now granted, you have to take it with a grain of salt because every one of these aquariums is shot on its very best day. And when you're looking at your aquarium, you know, you're seeing your tank on sort of a daily basis. You know, it's not going to look like this most of the time. But when you get it looking really super beautiful and you take that perfect shot to share for later, that's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend this book. Think of this book as more of an inspirational guide, picture book, great to like leave out on the desk, and maybe you're planning an aquascape or something like that and you just kind of want something to get that spark, get that idea for what you want. Maybe I've seen plants in here that I've never seen before. A lot of great inspiration in this book. I can't recommend it highly enough. This next book is really interesting if you're into the science. And by into the science, I mean this reads like an advanced science book, which is funny because the whole premise for this is about keeping your tank in a really simple way. It's called Ecology of the Planted Aquarium. It's by Deanna Wallstead. It is another very good book. Lots of great pictures and stuff inside too, but mainly this is going to be scientific information. It can be quite heavy. Okay, I'm not going to lie. A lot of times when I go to read this book, I sort of end up, well, asleep on the couch. It reads like a high school or college level science book. But if you can get through this stuff, you'll be so much better off. I mean, the information in here is really interesting. It's very fascinating. So one of the things I found in this book is my keep it simple approach. A lot of things that I was doing anyway actually have some validated scientific facts to go with it. There's a lot of things that I do that I kind of mistakenly did in a good way, according to Deanna. It's not super happy, fun, and inspirational like this book, but it is full of information. It's full of really good critical information. It's not super thick either, and it's a great one to read if you just got to know more about planted aquariums and you want to really take a deep dive into what's going on inside that tank. So last but not least, I have a little bit of photography stuff to tell you about. Most of the money I make off this show, I put back into aquariums and aquarium products, but of course to make videos, you need photography equipment. And there are a couple of things that if you're making videos that you're really going to need. And one is a good tripod. It's a must. Holding your phone with your hand will only take you so far. And if you're one of those little kids that likes to run around and show everything with your phone, those videos make me sick. Buy a tripod. The other thing is decent lights. Decent lighting is so important. And I'm actually using part of it right now. This is an LED light set. It comes with 2 stands, a bag, and 2 lights. It's a really neat kit. It comes with some pretty decent stands. Here's one of them now. The stands are not, these aren't super heavy duty or anything, but they're not bad quality. I'd give them at least kind of mediocre quality, but not terrible. You really want to avoid the stands that are just too light and too fragile. Most of my stands that came with the original light set that I bought, which are something called soft boxes, and essentially what they have is just giant fluorescent bulbs inside of a little tent with a translucent cover on the front. That translucent cover sort of softens the light and keeps it from making deep shadows and stuff like that. I bought a couple of smaller LED lights that I would actually fit on the camera and stuff like that, but at one point my camera got knocked over and the light actually took the hot shoe and everything and it broke it off. So now my light's broken and I have to put it on a tripod. It looks kind of janky and stuff. So I really, and the soft boxes, although they work great, are kind of huge. They take up a lot of space, whereas this thing is incredibly narrow. That means I'm going to be able to put these easily away and they don't have to just kind of sit out all the time. The soft boxes are way too much trouble to break down and then put back up. These will be so easy. They slip right into this bag. They came with this really nice bag. It sort of looks like a small guitar case. With pockets in the front and a space for everything you need. The stands and the light themselves will easily fit in this bag. Make it really easy to transport. I could actually take these on an airplane or somewhere else or on a trip. I would never consider taking my soft boxes to like an aquarium show to do an interview or something like that. This makes it super, super easy to put away and use for another time. Let's open one up. I left one in the box just to kind of show you how they come. And because unboxing things is fun sometimes. They have a power supply. And then the lights themselves. They also come with these panels here. And this is really interesting. They have these adhesive sheets to sort of keep these protected. But these are pieces of plastic. And one of them is sort of orange. These lights tend to run really blue. And you could throw this over it and give it sort of a more tungsten feel if you want to warm up the light a little bit, make it a little bit more homey. And the other one is just kind of translucent. And like I was saying about the little clear front on the softbox, the translucent front, it's just to soften the light, kind of make it not so shadowy and direct. These just attach magnetically right to the front of the light. So you can just snap these right on or pull them right off. It's not a big deal at all. Then the light itself, all right, so it comes with barn doors. That's what these are. These help you direct the light. It's something I haven't had on lights in years since I was a professional photographer back in the day. And a really huge bank of lights. These LEDs that are on here are not super impressive. I mean, they're pretty decent, but they're not like the highest quality LEDs I've ever seen. But these are the ones that kind of stay cool. So they'll probably last a long time. And trust me, looking at this other one, they're incredibly bright. You also have quite a bit of control also, because you can take these And you can turn on different banks of the lights or just turn them all on. They also have a dimmer on top of that. So it gives you a lot of control. This light right now has got all the banks on and the dimmers all the way up, and it is very, very bright. It also has both of these diffusers on here. So you just pull the paper and stuff off of that, and then these will just snap right on here. And then you could even snap another one right on top of the first one. And you've got your diffuser and your warmer right there in your light. And they're pretty good. They don't fall off. It's good stuff. But this was a cool little kit. It was about $200 or so, but it's going to be replacing so many other things in my house that have been annoying to me and my wife especially. It means that when I'm done shooting a video, I can actually put these away and get them out of the way so they're not just sitting around the living room like my old lights were. And yep, that's quite the pile of stuff, and I think that's where I'm going to end it this week. But don't worry, I'll be back next week with some more great fish videos. And until then, follow your bliss, keep a clean tank, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey YouTube, this is Pet Tech, and today, hey YouTube, this is a Pet Tech. I've got, I also get a little bit of money. It's also why I bought a lot of. It's also why I bought a. So if you're going to the mic, okay, that's kind of a different, fun way to share a little bit of information from you into your computer. Or and there's a